On my 6th wedding anniversary, I realized my marriage was over. I calmly handed Eleanor a divorce agreement across the dinner table. Her eyes widened as she begged me to stay, asking if it was about wanting children. I gave a hollow smile and produced the photos hidden beneath our bed. Don't bother. I got a vasectomy 6 years ago. My voice was ice. Go take care of those twins you took to the Morning Standard. After all, they're your real family. Mom and Dad called while I was decorating for our anniversary. My sister Chloe's choked sob came through the phone. Arthur, does Eleanor hate me? I opened my mouth to defend my wife, but the memory of Eleanor's familiar, disgusted sneer at the mention of children stopped me. I'm sorry, Chloe, I said gently. I'll talk to her when she gets home. Just hang in there, okay? Didn't you make it onto that competition show? Chloe's weeping intensified. No, she choked out. She replaced me with the twins. I froze, the world tilting. I gripped the wall, sliding to the floor as the news hit me like a physical blow. Twins again. For 2 years, Eleanor had mentioned those kids constantly, her voice softening in a way it never did for anyone else. I'd asked her once, I thought you hated kids. You practically marched me to the urologist right after the wedding. She just rolled her eyes. Leo and Luna are different. Little angels, not brats. Hope, treacherous and warm, had flickered in my chest. Maybe she wasn't truly opposed to motherhood, just badly behaved children. That night, sweaty and sated, I'd pulled her close, murmuring against her ear. Eleanor, what if we had a kid? Mom and Dad could help. They'd raised us, right? No tantrums. She'd shoved me away violently. All warmth vanished, replaced by pure revulsion. Arthur, right? I told you before we married. And oh, kids. What is wrong with you? Stunned by her fury, I'd backtracked. Sweetheart, I'm sorry. You just seemed so happy talking about the twins. Leo and Luna are different. She snapped, scrambling out of bed. I'm sleeping in the guest room. Then we stay separate from now on. Don't trust you not to try something. The warmth died instantly, leaning against the wall now. I sighed wearily. My gaze fell on the edge of the bed. Something glinted beneath it. I pulled out a small, sturdy lockbox, covered in dust bunnies, but the surface itself was pristine, like it was handled often. Heart pounding, I entered Eleanor's birthday. The lock clicked. Nestled inside were thick stacks of photos. The one on top stopped my breath. Eleanor, exhausted but radiant in a hospital gown. 2 tiny naked newborns nestled beside her. A boy, a girl, twins. The blow felt physical. My hand shook as I lit a cigarette, the smoke doing nothing to steady me. I rifled through picture after picture. Maternity shots, birthday parties, Eleanor holding hands with a man I vaguely recognized, Julian Thorne, my senior executive assistant. The undeniable truth settled over me, crushing and cold. My wife had 2 children, and those children were the twins beaming beside her on my television screen right now. 1,000 puzzle pieces snapped into place, revealing a grotesque picture. Not relief, but fury, humiliation, a cuckolded rage. I lay sprawled on the floor, teeth chattering, and dialed her number. Arthur, what's up? Just wrapped the segment, crazy busy. Her honeyed voice sounded effortless, sweet, even flirty. Once it warmed me, now it left me numb. I forced the words out. Chloe earned her spot on Rising Stars. She practiced for months. Call me crazy. Eleanor's voice turned brittle, sharp. A child. What does she know? She'd ruined the choreography. How did the show a favor replacing her? My voice trembled. So, how did the twins qualify? They're younger than Chloe. Eleanor stammered, defensive. Twins, they're a draw. People love twins. You wouldn't understand, Arthur. She rushed on. Got to run. Almost home. 6 years, baby. The line went dead before I could speak. Chloe's tears echoed in my ears. The photos of Eleanor swollen with another man's babies mocked me from the floor. Celebration. A sick joke. While I built a future, my wife had built a secret family with Julian Thorne. Twins. Perfect. What was I? A useful idiot bankrolling their deceit. Decorations forgotten, I scooped up the photos, grabbed my keys, and drove straight to my parents' place in Vermont. Mom, Dad, I'm divorcing Eleanor. Their faces paled, glancing at Chloe, sobbing on the sofa. Eleanor went too far, Dad began cautiously. But divorce over Chloe? We'll keep her visits down. It's not about Chloe, I choked out. Eleanor has 2 kids. Julian Thorne's kids. I slammed the photos onto the coffee table, pulling up the Morning Standard clip on my phone, pointing to the twins flanking my wife. Them, her twins. Shock, raw and absolute, washed over their faces. Eleanor's name flashed on my phone. Ignoring my parents' horrified stares, I declined the call and opened my contacts. I found my lawyer. Need a divorce agreement drafted. Stat. I found Eleanor buzzing around our Chicago penthouse kitchen when I returned with the papers. Honey, she chirped, unfazed by my earlier absence. Almost ready. Anniversary feast. She turned, and I saw it. The apron tied carelessly over just her lingerie. A familiar, calculated invitation, but where desire should have sparked, only nausea flared. 6 years of perfect wifehood flashed before me. Bringing me coffee at midnight during crunch times and delivering homemade lunches to the office, shutting down her catty friends who teased her about my long hours. He's building an empire, she'd say, chin held high. Now, the spread of gourmet dishes lay untouched. Eleanor sensed the frost, abandoning her chair to slide onto my lap. Her skin felt alien. That eager hubby, she purred, tracing patterns on my chest. I recoiled, sending her stumbling. Her knee cracked against the marble floor, instantly reddening. Her pout vanished, replaced by impatience. Arthur, get a grip. I know you're upset about Chloe, but look at all this food. Me. What more do you want? I gripped the divorce papers but held back. Fury warred with a colder curiosity. She'd lied for years. Just walking away felt insufficient. I leaned down, my voice dangerously soft. The twins, Eleanor. What I want is to understand the twins. You hate kids. You exiled Chloe, yet you champion Leo and Luna. Fascinating. I locked eyes with her. Unless they're yours. Her face froze, color draining fast. Eleanor's laugh was brutal, too high. Arthur, what? Kids? Me. You know I can't stand them. Bad joke. She scrambled up. Got to run. Show stuff. She practically bolted to the bedroom, emerging minutes later in street clothes, avoiding my eyes as she flew out the door. Defeated, trapped. I smiled, humorless. Picking up my phone, I called my assistant. Rising stars. Replace the twins segment immediately. Feature Chloe Evans and Maya Sterling instead. Erase all promos with Eleanor and the twins. By evening, my phone buzzed. Muffled shrieks of crying children filled the background. Eleanor sounded ragged. Arthur, what the hell did you do? Leo and Luna are devastated. They told their whole class. How could you? Then I heard it, over the din, clear as a bell, Mommy, make him stop. And Julian's low growl cursing me. The sound ignited a grim satisfaction. I kept my tone light. Found a little box under our bed today. Locked. Used your birthday. Silence. Fake. Suffocating. You. Her whisper trembled. 5 years. Must have been exhausting. I pictured it vividly. Fielding my calls while pumping breast milk. Admirable. The twins are what? 4. Starting preschool. Wonder what they tell their friends about Daddy. A sob tore from her throat. The phone clattered. Julian snarled down the line. Arthur, Eleanor is mine. Sign the damn papers. And if you touch my kids, he dropped his voice, menacing, remember R&D for Project Apex. That juicy vulnerability. Leak that. And your precious Apex Project tanks. Your call. Security footage filled my screen. Eleanor collapsed on a worn sofa in Julian's cramped apartment, head buried in her hands. Julian stood over her, phone clenched, flanked by two wailing toddlers. His expression was pure triumph. I almost laughed. Did this fool really believe he'd outsmarted me? That the secrets he'd scraped together weren't bait carefully laid? Finding he was the father, well, that made the net closing around him so much sweeter. After the blow-up, Eleanor vanished for the holiday weekend. Presumably holed up with Julian and the twins. Fine by me. My orders were already in motion. The twins' segment dead. Discreet pressure applied to their preschool, ensuring a swift exit. Business carried on smoothly. Julian remained employed, oblivious. Tech startups hungry for talent constantly circled my rising company. We paid top dollar, offered unmatched perks. Poaching was rare, but Julian's greed made him sloppy. His data snooping had landed on my desk months ago. I'd let him dig, laying a path paved with fool's gold. Now he was sprinting down it. Eleanor, however, staring at our wedding photo on my desk, brought only a weary ache. I dropped it into the trash bin just as Eleanor walked in, clutching a thermos. She froze. Arthur. She placed the thermos carefully. You're working on the holiday. Poor you. She lifted the lid. Gourmet cook. Your favorite. I thought we could. Her voice faded as I met her gaze. No smile, no warmth, just a question. How does she stand here knowing what I know? After hiding her secret family. After nights spent in Julian's bed. She flinched, finally dropping her eyes. Silence stretched. She nudged the dish towards me. Arthur, she ventured. Leo and Luna. They're heartbroken, crying themselves sick. They're just babies. They had such big dreams about being on TV. Her plea felt scripted, rehearsed. Yet, instead of anger, a strange clarity washed over me. Of course, Eleanor only surfaced when she needed something. Hope hadn't brought her back. Desperation had. I watched her pathetic performance, the raw need in her eyes. Just as her face lit with hope that I might yield, I swept the entire contents of the thermos into the trash. The clatter echoed loudly. I met her stunned gaze. Chloe cried too, Eleanor. After you crushed her dream, who comforted her? Eleanor left, thermos empty, face white. Watching her go brought no satisfaction, only a bone-deep sorrow. 8 years, 6 married, 2 dating. Eleanor orbited me like a dedicated moon. I once asked, worried, does this get old? Just us. She'd snuggle closer, eyes shining. Never. I love you. I need you. She'd press my hand to her heart. Feel that? That's all for you. That night, tangled in sheets, she'd trace patterns on my skin. Arthur, I mean it. I want forever with you. She met my eyes, fierce and vulnerable. Anything but children, okay. Everything else, it's yours. Looking at her then, love overflowing, parenthood seemed secondary. A sacrifice I'd gladly make. The next day, I got a vasectomy. For 6 years, I took the public blame for our childless state. My parents, both esteemed university professors, sighed but respected my choice. Chloe learned to tiptoe around her sister-in-law, fearing her disdain. Our family bent over backward to accommodate Eleanor's truth. What fools we were. My phone buzzed. Eleanor's Facebook update. A bright photo. Julian and Luna on one side, Leo on the other. Eleanor center stage, beaming, taken by the fourth person, no doubt Julian. Caption, my sunshine, so perfect into a tough week. So grateful for my family. I stared at her radiant smile. The promises echoed, poisonous now. Sugar-coated arsenic, just like her. After the holiday, my lawyer finalized the papers. I texted Eleanor, signed the divorce papers. Waiting on the hall table. Her reply pinged instantly. Arthur, honey, what is this? I silenced her calls, blocked her messages. That evening, she stood in our living room. She moved to embrace me. I stepped aside, hurt flashed across her face. Darling, is this? Are we really? I sank onto the sofa, exhaustion pulling at me. Did you truly think I'd stay knowing you gave Julian Thorne 2 children? She winced at Julian's name. I told you before we started. And oh, secrets, no other families, my one condition. I gave a bitter laugh. Seems you saved the children for Julian. Guess he truly inspired you. Eleanor crumpled to her knees. How can you say that? You know how I feel about you. I met her desperate gaze. The question had haunted me since finding the box. Why wasn't I enough? Wasn't our life enough? Why shackle herself to Julian Thorne? Silence stretched. Taking it as weakness, she crawled forward, clutching my hand. Arthur, it wasn't planned. You were away. That launch in Paris. Remember? 5 years ago. I got drunk. So lonely in your office. Julian offered to take me home. I was wasted. I woke up and I cut her off, voice glacial. And conveniently kept hooking up for months, accidentally conceiving twins. I met her widened eyes. I knew the timeline the moment the nanny's statements and Julian's travel matched. One drunken slip, tragic, forgivable, maybe, but a calculated affair over months while she poured honey in my ear over satellite calls. No excuse existed. She wasn't worth inventing one. Tears streamed down Eleanor's face. Seeing my resolve, she did the unthinkable. She pressed her forehead to the floor at my feet in a grotesque parody of submission. Please, Arthur, I'll die without you. A desperate bargaining chip surfaced. Is it the children? Want a baby? I'll do it. Reverse the vasectomy. We can have our child. Repulsion surged. I stood, stepping back. I had the procedure for a reason. Fatherhood doesn't tempt me. My words were ice shards. Use your energy on Leo and Luna. The twins you actually bore. She scrambled, grabbing my ankle. Julian means nothing. The kids, I only stayed connected for them. Let me bring them here. Cut Julian out. You can be their dad. I swear. Horror dawned. It was all about her salvation. Her comfort. The children, pawns. Their father, expendable, interchangeable. How had I missed this selfish rot? I yanked free. Haul a bag of clothes to the door. The divorce papers sit stark on the hall table. Sign them. Deal with my assistant. I'm done with you. Slamming the door behind me, I vomited violently into the penthouse building's immaculate bushes. Driving to my parents' Vermont home, I collapsed on my childhood bed. I slept like the dead. Hours later, my phone screen glowed. Dozens of missed calls. A cascade of texts bypassing the block. Apologies, love bombing, naked pleas for mercy. I deleted them in one swipe. Accidentally hitting the keyboard brought an immediate call. More desperate texts flooded in. One screamed, "Take me back or I'll jump." Wearily, I typed, "Fine, then jump." The messages stopped, defeated by my silence. Eleanor embraced her new narrative. Her Facebook exploded. A sunny park photo. Eleanor and Julian, each holding a twin, radiating domestic bliss. Friends commented in confusion, "Eleanor, who are these kids? When? How?" Her replies were breezy, "Meet our miracles. Julian's my rock." Moving forward. A college buddy called, bewildered. "Dude, is Eleanor nuts? Ditching your life for Julian Thorne and kids?" I thought she was ride-or-die child-free. I was reviewing Apex intel. Julian was actively poaching key engineers, whispering about Apex's imminent demise under my leadership if they didn't jump ship. He was marching straight into the kill box, holding the poison intel I'd gifted him. Back in the office, Julian stormed past my assistant. He slammed a resignation letter onto my desk. Chest puffed. "How's it feel, Arthur? Wife gone, kids not yours, and your flagship project." He smirked. "Finished." Whispers rippled through the glass walls. "Julian's got Apex code, taking it to Zenith Dynamics. Arthur's done." I let it simmer. Julian waved his phone. Eleanor arrived moments later. The twins clutching her hands, avoiding my eyes. Julian gestured grandly. How about it, Arthur? Smile. Release. And hers. He sneered. Stop dragging your feet. I smiled, utterly calm. Let's go now. Sign both. Eleanor flinched. Today. Civic Center Courthouse. Eleanor rode silently in my Tesla. At the courthouse steps, she froze, gripping the twins' hands too tight, as if she were the victim, the betrayed. I walked past her without a glance. Julian was parking as we emerged. Eleanor called out as I turned towards my waiting Uber. Arthur, one thing, divorce final, assets protected. I owed her nothing. Still, go on. She hesitated, then blurted, the twins. They're innocent. Please don't hurt them. I stared, incredulous, then barked a laugh. Eleanor, we're divorced. Why would I waste a second on Julian's kids? You have your money. I have my freedom. That's our deal. She whispered, thank you, but I was already in the car. The Apex launch gala was my victory lap. The event buzzed. The unveiled system wasn't just innovative, it redefined possibilities. Investors jostled for meetings. Zenith Dynamics, Julian's new employer, scrambled. Within days, they released Vecta, a near-carbon copy of Apex, priced 20% lower. Budget-conscious clients flocked to Zenith. Loyal clients, trusting me, chose Apex. Zenith's numbers soared. Julian swaggered across the gala floor, champagne flute raised. Cheers, Arthur. You're my damn good luck charm. Wife, kids, a CEO track. All thanks to you. He waited for me to flinch. I clinked his glass. Actually, I should thank you, Thorne. My smile was predatory. You've got a real knack for collecting the things I toss away. Efficient little recycling bin. Fury darkened his face. Before he could retort, a Zenith engineer ran in, pale and shaking. Mr. Thorne, Vecta, it's crashing everywhere. He shoved his phone at Julian. Social media exploded. Hashtag VectaFail, hashtag ZenithScam, hashtag ThorneThief. Simultaneously, articles went viral detailing Julian's ingenious theft of Apex IP. The leaks were traced back to his own boasts. Julian whirled on me, realization dawning. You set me up. The vulnerability. It was fake. You knew. Took you long enough, I said quietly. Police officers materialized beside him. Mr. Thorne, you're under arrest for theft of trade secrets and corporate espionage. Zenith Dynamics CEO, Mr. Henderson, arrived just as Julian was cuffed. He looked 10 years older, shoulders slumped. He met my eyes, managed a grim smile. Well played, Arthur. A masterclass. We never stood a chance. The crowd shifted like a living thing. Zenith's clients fled. Apex's price became irrelevant. It was now the only viable system. My net worth skyrocketed overnight. Eleanor found me leaving the Langham Hotel with a Saudi investor. She looked broken. Threadbare coat, frayed jeans. The twins, hands clasped in hers, looked thin. The aura of wealth and power around me seemed to hold her back. Arthur, she stammered, finally stepping closer. Could you lend me something? Leo and Luna's tuition. Julian's gone. I can't cover it. Seeing her humbled by a few thousand felt surreal. I ushered her to my private office, placed $3,000 in crisp bills on the desk. She gasped. Arthur, I cut her off. Keep it. Consider it hush money. Your price, never cross my path again. She blinked, stunned. That's it. You're paying for silence. Your absence. I pressed the intercom. Clara, please escort Miss Evans out. She stared, mouth working soundlessly as my assistant gently guided her away. Watching her small, battered frame lead the twins down the skyscraper's marble steps, I felt only release. Finally free. Much later, I heard snippets, the twins bullied at school, Eleanor defending them, only to be mocked as the fallen socialite who traded a billionaire for a convicted felon. Outwardly, she coped. Inwardly, they said she broke. Whatever, it wasn't my circus. Raising a glass of 30-year Macallan to the glittering Chicago skyline, I smiled. My future, unburdened, stretched gleaming before me.